Good morning, good afternoon, good evening internet, and welcome to my YouTube channel, Economical Rides. Today you join me on a ride, an evening ride. This is the A1100 again. This is a road which featured in a previous video, but this stretch didn't make the final cut, so I'm riding it again to show you and just have a chat with you about how I'm getting on with the Meteor, life in general, some other news. And as you've probably noticed, this is the first time I've actually recorded audio whilst riding. It isn't the first attempt, it's probably about the 10th attempt, because it turned out to be a real problem. So yes, I'll tell you a little bit about the story. So basically I had several headsets and intercoms, and I've tried recording with all of them, and unfortunately the audio was always terrible, mainly because here it's pretty much always windy, especially in the mountains. You get very strange gusty winds coming from all directions, so you never have a wind-free environment. So basically all of the recordings I did until recently were absolutely of no use whatsoever. All you could hear was the wind. I did a bit of research to try and solve the problem, and I found a couple of people who tested a Senna intercom, which they showed was working well up to about 60 miles an hour, and I thought, well, that will suffice for my needs. So I looked into getting one. I managed to find a Senna 10S, which is an old model, for a reduced price, so I purchased it, and I was quite excited to try it out. Put it in my helmet, did a test run, got home, excited to find out what I'd recorded. Basically, once again, I'd recorded a whole lot of wind and a very small distant amount of voice, which was barely discernible. So I was slightly frustrated by that, obviously having spent money and made an effort, that I still couldn't record audio properly. But at that point it did occur to me that actually the helmet that I'd been using for all of these various experiments was always quite a noisy helmet compared to others that I have. So I finally decided, well, if other people are getting good results with this intercom, surely it can only be the helmet that's the problem. So I got my quiet helmet. I have a track day helmet, which is very quiet because obviously at high speed that's beneficial. So I got that out, put the headset in that, did another test recording, and things were much improved, and that's where we are at the moment. So this is the track day helmet which I'm currently using with my new headset to record audio. I'll try not to ride too fast because I know the wind is quite strong today, and I don't want the wind noise to take over things. So that was all good. So I had a helmet now which would record audio, and I thought, brilliant, I'll just put my camera mount on this other helmet, and then I'll have my vlogging setup complete, only to discover that the camera mount that I had, which was a chin mount, wouldn't fit this particular helmet. So this video here, actually I've recorded it 3 times. This is the 3rd time, because basically after finally finding the right helmet for the job, I found that the camera mount was a problem, so I fitted a sticky mount to the top of the helmet, and I did this route with that, and I recorded that as well. But when you mount the camera on the top of your head, it seems very sensitive to head movement. I ended up with a very lively picture moving all over the place, so much so that I actually got slightly queasy editing the video, so I decided I wasn't going to inflict that on you, so that video got binned as well. So I had a helmet which could now record audio, but it could no longer record video, so that wasn't really a perfect arrangement. So I started scratching my head about ways that I could possibly mount a camera. I did think maybe, if all else fails, mounting a camera to the bike, but that wasn't really my preferred solution. Anyway, I record somewhere in the dark depths of my memory that I did used to have a chest mount for an action camera, and miraculously I managed to find it. So that's where you are at the moment. You're actually on a chest mount, so you do have a slightly different perspective, but as opposed to a chin mounted or helmet mounted camera, hopefully the picture should be a little bit more stable. It's a more stable platform, because obviously I'm not going to be moving my upper body quite as much as I'll be moving my head. So hopefully I've got the angle of the camera right, and yeah, this will probably be the new camera arrangement. I shall be wearing the camera on my chest, and hopefully that's okay for you guys. Let me know in the comments how you're finding the angle, but I think it's probably an improvement actually, because I do tend to move my head quite a lot when I'm riding, so anything helmet mounted is going to be quite a lively picture. Probably best not to do that. So here we are. Yes, this is the A1100 from Uleda del Campo to Albanches. So we'll just trickle down here, and when we get to the bottom I'll just check the camera's recorded everything correctly, change the battery, and then I have a little bit more news for you that I can tell you about later on. But so yeah, basically the takeaway from my experience with recording audio is, don't blame your microphone. It's most likely your helmet that's the problem. The problem was actually because the previous helmet, it was open at the bottom, and the wind noise I was getting, it wasn't from the front, because obviously I had the visor shut. The wind noise was actually wind getting in under the chin, up around your neck, into the helmet, and it was just an absolute cacophony of noise. And this helmet, more expensive helmet, it has a neck curtain, a chin curtain, so basically it seals under the chin, so it's very hard for any wind to get inside the helmet from underneath. And then obviously if you have the visor shut, there shouldn't be a lot of wind getting in anywhere else, so the only noise you really get is the turbulence from outside, and the microphones seem to be quite good at filtering that, so that's not such an issue. So if you were thinking of doing any moto vlogging on your own bike, and you were looking to record live audio, I would definitely recommend you make sure you have the right helmet for the job, because if you have the wrong helmet, it doesn't matter how good your microphone is, I don't think you're going to get good results. Obviously it's quite a difficult recording environment. I mean, the wind's picking up now, I'm not actually going faster, but I'm sure you're hearing the wind, because this is a bit more of an open space. We're getting the gusts coming in now. So the bike's done 2,700 kilometers as I speak, so we're heading for the 3,000 now. Just the other side of 2,000 kilometers, I think it was a noticeable improvement in engine performance again. Several roads I ride quite often are steep inclines, where the bike previously wanted to be in 4th gear, but the last couple of times I've done those roads, the bike's just steamed up there in 5th gear, no problems whatsoever. So that's quite a marked difference, the ability of the engine to pull a taller gear uphill. That has improved even after 2,000 kilometers. I would imagine at 2,500 kilometers you probably aren't going to get a lot more improvement. I should think we're running by now, but I must say I find the performance of the engine now absolutely perfect, more than enough. Now that you can take a higher gear in some situations, it's even more lazy to ride. Don't have to change gear quite as often. I didn't have to change gear much before, but now significantly less. And yeah, we've not had any issues, it's all been good. And yeah, I'll just shut up for a minute and you can have a little look at some of the scenery here. Right, so I've had a change of plan actually. I think what we'll do, because it's quite windy, rather than carrying on homewards where the road gets a bit quicker and probably the wind noise will be too much of a problem. We'll just come down into Almería now. I'll check the camera has recorded, I'll change the battery, and what I'll do is I'll take you back up the road we just came down. You get a different perspective on it, and I'll tell you what I got up to at the weekend. So stay tuned, I shall be back in a moment. So, if I manage to hit all of the right buttons in all of the right places at all of the right times, you should be back on board with me, and we're climbing the route we just took downwards, and it should all be recording audio and video. But then I wouldn't bet my life on it because I've had more than my fair share of disasters. So yes, in other news, as some of you may know, Sunday, this past Sunday, the 26th of September 2021, was the Royal Enfield One Ride day, where Royal Enfield regional clubs were encouraged to organise a ride, so that on this one day, all over the world, people were out on their Royal Enfields, riding around, leaving everywhere a better place. That's their slogan, leave everywhere a better place. So I actually went on this one ride out at the weekend, which was from Almería. We didn't have a huge turnout, we were only 10 people, but it was still enough to make it worthwhile. We had a ride out to Cabo de Gata, which is a nature reserve on the Almería coast. And yes, it was quite interesting to meet other Royal Enfield owners. I was the only Meteor there, and my bike did attract a lot of positive attention, so I think there might be some more Meteors being sold in the coming months and years. It was the first time I'd been on a group ride. I don't normally go on group rides. I tend to view motorcycling as more of a solitary hobby, but it was nice. We had a good time. Fortunately, the weather turned just in time, because the previous week the weather had been absolutely awful. Showers every day, and then just in time for Sunday the weather turned nice again, and it stayed nice, as you can see today. Yes, I'll cut to some footage of that one ride out on Sunday, and I'll just shut up for a moment. So I didn't take a lot of footage because my camera died. Just another one of my little boo-boos that I tend to have when I'm trying to be an amateur moto vlogger. But yeah, here you can see we're out and about in a group having fun. And here's a little picture of the group. And here's a picture of our final destination, Cabo de Gata. I took this photo when we arrived up the top of the hill. It was actually quite interesting because we got to the lighthouse, which was originally our destination, and then we decided to climb up what was little more than a goat track to a higher viewpoint, which is where I took that photo from. So I did actually get to do some mild off-roading on my Meteor, which wasn't really planned, but it was good. The Meteor performed faultlessly, didn't give me any problems at all. I was able to avoid the worst of the potholes, and it soaked everything else up. Always had the right gear for every hairpin turn. So that was quite interesting, just to ride the Meteor on a bit more of a dodgy road. If any of you did partake in your local one ride out on Sunday, I'd be interested to hear about it. You can post down in the comments what you got up to and how you felt it went. But yeah, this Uleda del Campo Abancha section is quite interesting. It's an interesting road. Obviously it's a bit narrow. If you get a car coming the other way, it can get a bit hairy, so it's best to try and stay to the right as much as you can in bends, just to give yourself a fighting chance of not getting killed. But obviously when you can see that there's nothing coming for miles, you can enjoy the bends a little bit more, like here. On the One Ride ride out, we did receive some swag as well. We received this sticker sheet. A couple of stickers are currently adorning my other helmet, and we also received this water bottle, which could prove quite useful. I think I'll get in the habit of putting it in my backpack, which I always have with me anyway, so that when I'm out and about I can always take a nice drink from my Swish Royal Enfield One Ride water bottle. Well, I hope you are enjoying this video. As I say, it's the first time that I've actually been able to record audio whilst riding. It's something I'd probably do a bit more of from time to time, not exclusively, but certainly from time to time, because this way I can actually record a video for you whilst I'm out riding the bike, and I don't have to spend extra time at home doing a voiceover. So it just makes the process a little bit less time intensive, and I don't have an awful lot of free time. So any little time saving measure I can come up with is of great assistance. So we're getting towards the top of this climb now, and then I think we'll call it a day. Don't want to bore you too much, but yeah, let me know if you did go on the One Ride at the weekend and how you found it and what you got up to, and also let me know if you're finding this camera position on my chest mount to be okay, and also whether the audio this way is acceptable for you. I think it's going to be hard to improve on, really, because as I said, there's very rarely a wind still day here. There's always going to be a bit of wind, and obviously the faster I go, the worse it gets. So I think we'll probably have to deal with this. I mean, I've got the visor down and I've got all vents closed, so I can't really do any more than that. I'm kind of suffocating here at the moment, but hey, I'm doing it for you guys and gals, so it's all worthwhile. Oh, I do have a topic for another video which arose at the weekend, so there will be another video about a certain topic, but I'll keep you in suspense. I won't give the game away just yet, but I think it's worthy of a video. It's worth mentioning, something I discovered at the weekend, so that's something to look forward to, or maybe not, as the case may be. So this is where I'll turn around. So I say, I hope you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe if you did and you want to see more of my awesome videos, and yes, I look forward to seeing you in a future video. Bye bye.